So, last month my dad discovered the wonders of retirement and, apparently, boredom. After a few days of watching him alphabetize his spice rack and host lengthy debates with the squirrels in our backyard, my mom decided to buy him a metal detector, hoping he'd find some buried treasure and maybe a new hobby. It seemed harmless enough. How much trouble could he possibly get into with a glorified beep stick? The answer, I assure you, is more than you'd think. At first, Dad was the picture of wholesome enthusiasm. He wandered around the neighborhood park, waving the detector with the dignity of a Jedi and the optimism of a game show contestant. But then he started getting competitive. He'd come home with fistfuls of bottle caps, keys, and enough loose change to make a vending machine blush. One man's trash is another man's dinner at Applebee's, he'd say, jingling his pocket like a pirate with a very low bar for treasure. But then things took a turn. Dad announced he would no longer communicate with anyone in the family unless they paid him in buried treasure, specifically, spare change hidden somewhere clever. Conversations with him now require a scavenger hunt. Need him to pass the salt? Better have a nickel hidden under his chair. Want to know what's for dinner? Hope you've got a quarter stashed in the couch cushions. My sister tried to FaceTime him from college, but he just held up his phone and pointed to his payment jar, labeled, "Talk to Dad? Deposit coin." Last night, it all reached a climax when my mom, desperate for a normal conversation, buried a $5 bill in the backyard and handed him a treasure map. Dad disappeared for 3 hours and re-emerged, grinning and covered in mud, clutching his prize. He finally sat down at the table and said, "You know, I guess you could say, I've really dug myself into this role."